Ciao, this is Chef Paul from the GIA restaurant. Today we are going to make a spinach and ricotta ravioli, a classic style with a sage emulsion sauce. Let's get to the kitchen and start cooking. Okay, now we are going to make a pasta dough. And for the pasta dough, we require flour, egg yolks and salt. So we'll put the flour first on a clean surface and then we'll spread and make a hole. And once you make a hole, we use the egg yolk which is already broken, and it's a pasteurized egg yolk and it's a high quality one from Italy. And then we are adding these egg yolks inside. Okay. Now we mix the flour and add some salt. So this salt spread nicely evenly so that it doesn't stick to any surfaces. So we are completely mixing it nicely. And then the ratio of this I've given in the recipe. So we making a tight dough, and you can see the natural color from the egg yolk. We don't add any artificial color to make the pasta color yellow. It's a natural egg yolk color. And we have to mix like this for at least 10 to 15 minutes to get the perfect dough. So we keep mixing it for around 20 minutes now, and then the texture of the dough, it has to be completely formed with gluten, and you will get a tight dough like this. If you see, the elasticity is formed well, and then you can actually see the crumbly texture of the dough. The dough breaks very nicely, and you can see the elasticity, coming well. So this is the stage you stop it making, and then you make a nice roll out of it and keep it for rest for some time. Now the dough is rested, so we'll cut it into small portions, and then we will make the sheets of this pasta dough. And after making these sheets, we will have to do the stuffing inside the sheet to make a proper ravioli. So let's sheet it inside the sheeter machine. Let's start from the bigger number, and then we'll reduce the thickness of the sheet slowly, because the pasta will get cracked when you start from the minimum number. So we do it like again and again, and we will gradually reduce the thickness of the sheet till we get 1 mm thickness. This is the last sheet which we are doing, and the thickness of this is around like 1 millimeter. So it's a very thin pasta sheet. You can see the texture and the color of the sheet. Let's start making the spinach and ricotta mixture for the ravioli. So for that we require the blanched spinach. This spinach is blanched and put it in the ice water to maintain the color of it. And next we'll go for the ricotta cheese. We add some Parmesan cheese. We add some salt. We add some nutmeg and some lemon zest on top of it to give the flavor. Let's fine chop these blanched spinach. We put the spinach on the cutting board, and then we have to chop it very finely so that the mixture will go coated with the cheese. The spinach is finely chopped. We'll put it inside the bowl, and then we'll have to mix the cheese into it. So ricotta cheese has to be mixed. And after adding it, we'll add some Parmesan cheese. And after Parmesan, we'll have to grate the nutmegs on top of it. Like this is the fresh lemon. We are just going to add the zest of it. So we will just take a microplane and slowly shave the lemon zest into it. Let's add some seasoning. So the salt first, we'll sprinkle to the amount we require, and then we can crack some black pepper into it. And then we will have to mix it very well. So all the ingredients we are mixing it. We are mixing it thoroughly so that the cheese and the spinach is blended together very well. Let's have the sheets now. We'll cut the sheets into pieces. Let's open the sheets very carefully and gently so that we will not break the sheet. And we can start cutting to the size we require, and then cut a sheet of 2 pieces. So one for the base and other one for the top. So you can measure the same length, and then you can cut the top one on the same size. Now let's add some egg yolk in the pasta sheet. We'll have to gently press these egg yolks into the first bottom sheet. So make sure the yolk is spread in every corner of the sheets. This is the spinach and the ricotta mixture we made. We put it in the conical piping bag, and this will help us to stuff the pasta. We will take the mold and we'll mark the space in the pasta sheet so that we can fit in the mixture inside that. And we'll stuff the mixture inside this hole so that you will know the exact place where your stuffing is, and your stuffing will not come out of the ravioli sheets. Let's place another sheet of pasta on top of it gently, and then we will have to press the corners, and let's press it nicely, and then cut the exact size we needed, and you will have to close the edges by your hand. Now let's go to the final stage of making the pasta. Let's start with the sauce. So for the sauce we need to add some stock to this. So in a hot pan, let's add some stock, and by the time the stock gets boiled nicely, we will add some sage leaves into it. Let's add some butter, and we will have to emulsify the sauce to make a thick consistency of the sauce. And then let's add some Parmesan cheese to it. By the time the sauce is getting ready, let's add these fresh raviolis in the boiling water. So you can drop it like one by one at a time so that it doesn't stick together. And since the pasta is fresh, it just needs 1 minute or 1.5 minutes maximum to get cooked in the water. And then we'll drop it inside the sauce, and then let's cook together along with the sauce. And you'll add some Parmesan cheese into it, and just cook it for another 10 to 20 seconds. Now the pasta is ready to serve. Let's place one by one into the plate. We'll have to handle it a little gently because now the pasta is very soft and it's on a right texture. So we'll handle it slowly, and we will just take these emulsified sauce in a spoon, and then we'll pour it on top of this pasta. Let's garnish our ravioli with a crispy Parmesan. We will crack it into small pieces and place on top of the pastas, and we can add some sage leaves. This is our classic spinach and ricotta ravioli to taste.